Carter, Pee Wee, B Miller, Mark Stitt. I can name some more, no cap. That's some real shit. Lil Nick, Bank Street, nigga used to have you sick.
Yo, what up, though? Welcome to another episode of ShowNTalk. So, tonight, we're going to be discussing a movie that really needs no introduction. I talked about this movie before. I just wanted to revisit it because it's something that, is near and dear to me. And I wanted to compare it with the novel. And this movie came out in 1993 when the dinosaur craze was going on. Around the same time the Super Mario Brothers movie came out. And that movie sucked donkey piss through a straw. You know what I'm saying? That movie was terrible. In my opinion, y'all, that's my opinion. Don't send no lynch mob after me. Well, even if you do, anyway, to hell with it. But yeah. So I wanted to come back around to it, but this time I want to compare it with the novel. So I'm not going to be talking about, the story itself, more or less. I'm just going to be talking about, the characters and maybe certain plot points. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this movie was a classic, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people has probably seen the movie before they read the novel. Now, fun fact: Steven Spielberg, he wanted the rights to this novel before it was even released back in 1990. Must have been, it was one hell of a book, because I know I done read the book like 5 times already. So the book is a lot more graphic than the movie is. Like, for an example, in the beginning of the book, you don't meet Dr. Grant or Ellie Sattler or none of those characters right away. You know what I'm saying? In the book, you meet this character named Dr. Carter, a woman working in Costa Rica at this hospital. So when the plane comes, it's a helicopter that shows up, and they bringing out an injured park worker. And there's this character named Ed Regis, which is not in the movie. In the book, he's head of public relations. So if you read the novel, he'll put you on the mind of Donald Gennaro from the movie. They got almost the same kind of personality. But yeah, they bring this injured park worker to the hospital, and we come to find out he was mauled by a raptor. So he's unconscious for most of the time. He's on the table, the operating table, but then he winds up killing over anyway. And I think the kid was like 18 years old, something like that. But that's one plot point that's not in the movie. So after that, we lead into this family that's going down to the beach in Costa Rica, right? Now, this part of the book is similar to Jurassic Park 2, the beginning, where you had the rich family on the beach, and then the little girl who got attacked by the compies. So this was pretty much the same situation, but she didn't die in the book. She got infected, but they took her to the hospital and all that, and they cured her. So she was fine in the book. And that's pretty much that part of the story. That part of the story ended right there. So then we finally get into, well, not finally, but you get into this one character. I forgot what his name was. What is his name? He's also a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Martin Gutierrez. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's like an American though, because he has like the southern accent, and he was on the beach, and he's wondering, what was biting the babies in the hospital, because there was a scene in the book where a baby was killed by 3 compies. It pretty much tore its face off. So he was trying to figure out what these animals really was. You know what I'm saying? Because there was 3-legged creatures, and he had shot. He had got a piece, like a sample, and took it back to the lab because he had found it. You know what I'm saying? And he took it back to the lab, and you know what I'm saying, he couldn't figure out what it was. So he sent it off to, this university in America. So, they was trying to study it and everything, and they couldn't figure out, they was surprised and astonished because they didn't know what it was either. They thought it was just a regular lizard, but it wasn't. So, they the next best person to check it out was this doctor named Dr. Simpson, but he was out of town for a couple of months. He was on vacation, so he wasn't able to do it. So the next best person that they could contact really was Dr. Grant. You know what I'm saying? Because in the book, Dr. Gennaro, well, not I keep saying Dr. Gennaro, the lawyer Donald Gennaro, his personality is slightly different in the book. He still has that cowardice personality though, a little bit, but it's not as much as he did in the movie. You know what I'm saying? In the book, he's described as like this muscular guy. You know what I'm saying? So his daughter was having a birthday party, but he couldn't attend because he had to go, you know what I'm saying? Basically, he had to do an inspection on the park because of the workers and all that were getting hurt or murdered or killed by the dinosaur. But yeah, so he got in contact with Dr. Grant trying to figure out, what the animals ate back in their day and how big were they and how long it took for the babies to grow. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. Just basic questions. And Dr. Grant was getting sick of him. He didn't really like him. He wasn't feeling him. Neither was Ellie Sattler. This is all in the book. Now, in the movie, when we're introduced to Donald Gennaro, he shows up, what I'm saying, at the resort and he's doing an inspection and all that. So he's there already. But in the book, he shows up with Dr. Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm. And then you had your boy John Hammond. Now, in the book, I can describe each character. Ian Malcolm, he's still, like a ladies' man. He's still, he has his funny lines and everything, but he's a little more serious in the book, a little more preachy. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you read the novel, you know what I'm talking about, especially near the end with him. But yeah, he's a little more preachy in the book. You know what I mean? He's taking this whole thing a lot more serious in the book. Now in the movie, he's got that ladies man's personality. And he's, pretty much trying to warn John Hammond like he did in the book that the park is gonna fail, but he wasn't on it like he was in the book. You know what I'm saying? So then you got Ellie Sattler. She's pretty much the same person in the book and in the movie. You know what I mean? She's a little younger though, I think. Now, I think when Laura Dern played the role in 1993, she was about 26 years old. Ellie Sattler in the book is described as 24 years old. So, that's a couple years difference. They pretty much got her on point. You know what I'm saying? There's really no difference with her in the movie and, you know what I'm saying, than it is in the book. So she's pretty much the same. And then you got your boy Alan Grant. Now in the movie, it said that he hates kids. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't like kids. He despises children and all of that. Now in the book, he loves children. You know what I'm saying? All because kids like dinosaur and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So in the book, he he's basically conversating with Tim because Tim is a fan of dinosaurs and all of that too. You know what I'm saying? He read Alan Grant's books and everything, and he has a vast knowledge of, each dinosaur. And, Alan, Miss Dr. Grant was feeling that. So, him and Tim were close in the book. Now in the movie, Tim was talking his head off. Because y'all remember the scene where he was walking behind Dr. Grant, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning before they got into the Jeeps, trying to explain stuff to him and all of that. And then Dr. Grant just shut the door in his face and got into the other Jeep. Now, it wasn't like that in the book. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Grant was really interested in what he knew. And as far as the children, Tim and Lex in the book, they were opposite ages. Lex was actually younger and she wasn't interested in what was going on in the park, at all, which I found unrealistic. Because number one, if you a child and you visit a dinosaur resort and you looking at actual living creatures like that, you're going to be interested regardless of what regardless of what your feelings are about dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? Now, In the book, she's described as being 7 years old, I believe, and Tim is 11. And in the movie, their ages are swapped. Tim is the younger kid and Lex is the older one. You know what I'm saying? Because in the movie, Tim still has a knowledge of dinosaurs, and Lex, she has a knowledge of computers. But in the book, Tim has knowledge of both pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Lex is just there. And I can't even lie, y'all. Lex was freaking annoying, man. Like, you'll hear her say, I'm hungry, like 8 or 9 times in the book. You know what I'm saying? But I understand she's a child, so she didn't really know no better. Now, we're going to get into the other characters. So, in the book, you got Robert Muldoon, right? He's described as a 50-year-old big man, you know what I'm saying? A big dude from Africa. You know what I'm saying? He worked in Africa. He was like a game hunter in Africa. You know what I'm saying? And so Dr. Grant hired him to basically hold it down with the dinosaur, you know what I'm saying? Keep the park in control. And in the book, well, as y'all know in the movie, Muldoon, he dies. You know what I'm saying? He gets mauled by a raptor. But in the book, he survives. He actually survives. You know what I'm saying? But he has a broken leg or a sprained leg or something like that. So he has some funny lines too in the book. So if you curious to reading the novel, yo, check it out. The novel, I can't talk tonight, y'all. The novel, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Now it's sad to say, man. My boy, his name is Ray in the book, and that's Samuel L. Jackson's character. You know what I'm saying? Ray Arnold. That's his name. No, Ray Arnold is his name in the movie. John Arnold is his name in the book. So I guess the reason why they changed his name, from John to Ray in the movie, is to keep the confusion down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's visual, you're watching them talk to each other. So it's like John, you know what I'm saying? So I bet that's why they changed it. But in the movie, we know that Ray Arnold, you know what I'm saying? He winds up getting mauled by a raptor, but you don't really see it. You know what I'm saying? He dies off screen. And it's a funny scene where Ellie Sattler is in the compound or whatever, right? And she got the power back on, and then she's celebrating, all happy and whatnot. Do you see like this big ass arm just come out of nowhere, and it's supposed to be his arm? You know what I'm saying? We all clearly knew that arm was a prop. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was like the funniest thing when I first saw it, and I was like 6 years old when I first saw this movie. But in the book, you actually, it's a scene where you actually see, well, not see, but you actually read that he gets mauled by a raptor. You know what I'm saying? Trying to turn the power back on. So he pretty much dies in both the book and movie, which I thought sucked. You know what I'm saying? And if you know what I'm saying, like I said, if you read the novel and you listen to him talk, you can't picture nobody else but Samuel L. Jackson. Because the way his personality is in the book is spot on to his real life personality. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? He got some funny lines too, in my opinion. And then, like I was saying, you got Ed Regis. You know what I'm saying? He's, basically watching Tim and Lex for the weekend, but he wasn't feeling it because, not Grant, but John Hammond had him watching his grandchildren. But he said, he couldn't do that. He had to get ready for the park's opening, because he was the public relations dude. He was like head of public relations. So he needed to get things together to get the park open by that next year. You know what I'm saying? Because this book takes place in 1989. So, yeah. But then he winds up dying in the book, too. So he pretty much dies almost the same way as Donald Gennaro's character died in the movie. But he didn't die by, the big ass T-Rex. He died. There was 2 T-Rexes in the book. You had the juvenile, and then you had the regular, fully grown T-Rex. So he was killed by the juvenile. You know what I'm saying? Because what happened was when the power had went out, the Rex, the bigger Rex came out of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Because the electricity went down, so it wasn't affecting it no more. So Regis left the kids in the car and ran away. And so later on, after Grant comes back, to get Tim and Lex, because Tim, he gets hurt badly, and Lex, she gets hurt, but not as bad. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you see later on when everybody comes to. That's when you see Dr. Grant walking up the road to get Tim and Lex, and then they see um, Ed Regis get mauled by the juvenile T Rex, and so yeah. But yeah, the next character we're gonna talk about John Hammond. So John Hammond in the movie, as y'all all know, he was like this heartwarming old guy, He wasn't thinking about money. He just wanted all the kids of the world to enjoy the dinosaur, to enjoy the park. It wasn't about money to him in the movie. Now in the book, it was completely different. John Hammond didn't give a damn about nothing else but money. I mean, of course he wanted, people to come to the park and everything, but his character in the book was selfish, arrogant. He was just a nasty person in the book. He was nothing like he was in the movie. You know what I mean? There's a scene where he said he wants all the kids of the world to enjoy, those creatures, at least the rich ones. That wasn't the exact lines, but he said something along those lines, But yeah, John Hammond was nothing like he was in the movie. And he got killed off by some compies, so he died in the book. You know what I'm saying? Yo, now I gotta say, based on what I said so far about, the movie versus book, like we're gonna take a little. I mean, what do y'all think though? You know what I'm saying? Like, do y'all prefer? If you read the novel, do you prefer the book or do you prefer the movie? And there's another character in the movie too, Dr. Wu. I forgot. I can't believe I forgot about him. So, as y'all know, he survives because he's in every single Jurassic Park movie except for 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? So, well, Jurassic Park. I'm stupid, yo. He was in Jurassic Park, and then he was in Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3. So, as you know, he survives obviously in the movie because he gets on the ship and head out. You know what I'm saying? Before the storm came and all of that. So he's not there anymore. Now, in the novel, he plays a bigger role. He's actually stuck on the island. He's actually on the island with the rest of the characters. But it's sad to say he gets killed off in the book by a raptor. He gets mauled to death. And there's a few other characters that I left out that play substantial roles, but I don't want to talk about them too much because video will go on too long. But I will talk about Dennis Nedry. Now, Dennis Nedry in the novel and the movie is pretty much the same person. He was the whole reason why the park went out of whack in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, to begin with. So, in the movie, he talks to Lewis Dotson at this restaurant, right? Now, Dotson plays a bigger role in this movie, in the book. He's actually talking to his people over there at Biosyn. You know what I'm saying? The investors and everything. I'm trying to think of the words, y'all, because I'm doing all of this off the top of the head. I ain't even write a script for this. But yeah, he's talking to the investors and he's trying to convince them to let him go in and get some embryos and all of that so they can create their own dinosaur. Because Biosyn, as far as Lewis Dotson, now in the movie Jurassic Park, you really couldn't tell his personality, his character, because they only showed him for a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? And then they showed him that time at the restaurant. Then they showed him again talking to Nedry through the computer. You know what I'm saying? On the phone. So those are the only 2 times you saw him. Now, in the book, I'm going to say, excuse my language, but Lewis Dotson did not give a fuck. You know what I mean? He wanted these embryos by all means necessary. So he was willing to do whatever he could to get them. But sadly, Nedry failed, right? So in the book, or in the movie, as y'all know, he was killed off, right? So he was killed off in the Jeep, but he was killed off by a Dilophosaurus in the movie, right? So the Dilophosaurus had the things that popped out on the side. You know what I'm saying? When it got vicious. Now in the book, it didn't have those. That actual dinosaur never had that. So, in the movie, it was like small, like really short, but in the book, it's like 10 feet tall. So the way Nedry was killed off in the book, the Dilophosaurus spat the acid on Nedry's shirt. He started feeling the effects when he touched it in his hands. And then it shot him again in the eye. Shot the acid in his eye. You know what I'm saying? So in the book, it's a little more detailed. Like his guts get ripped out. And then the dinosaur, the Dilophosaurus grabs him by the head and pretty much kills him that way. And starts eating his intestines and everything. So that's how he got killed off in the book. And yeah, when they found his body in the park, they just left him there. You know what I'm saying? Like they really just left this man there because nobody gave a shit about Nedry anyway, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Now, this book, to me, in my opinion, was much better than the movie. I know I'm probably going to get some flack for that, but I'm sorry. I think the book is better. You know what I'm saying? And then there's another scene in the movie, though, right? Where you got Dr. Harding, which I wonder if that's Sarah Harding's dad. Y'all remember Sarah Harding from The Lost World, right? But y'all wonder if that's her father, you know what I'm saying? But he was tending to a sick triceratops in the movie. Now in the book, it's a stegosaur. But yeah, Dr. Harding, he played a pretty substantial role in the movie. I mean, in the book, in the movie, he had next to no scenes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he survives too in both the movie and the book. Cause I think he was one of the characters that got on the ship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. I'm not for certain. But yeah, so I gotta say, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about. I didn't want to talk about the story because I want y'all to read the novel on your own. I was just describing the characters, basically book versus movie. And I just want to see which one y'all like better based on your experiences with them. Now, if you read the book, then I don't need to explain the story to you anyway. Now, if you haven't read the book, I would love for y'all to read it. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you really will. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about a few key points, some characters, movie versus book, how their personalities and everything. So that's it. I'm about to jump off of here, y'all. We'll do The Lost World next time. And stay tuned for my, Mission in the 90s. We're going to be discussing Sega. So stay tuned for that. And I appreciate y'all for listening. I'm about to jump off of here. And I'll talk to y'all later. All right? Peace.
The feeling is mutual. Come in, take a seat, share your thoughts with each, and preach it when you speak, so we can share kinetic energy throughout the brainwaves to keep us balanced out and all on the same.